the dream, falling in love with the dream that never was. They gave you a gift, even though they're not here, even though they went their own way, you went yours. They gave you that gift of inspiration, of a dream that you feel you want to experience in this lifetime. That's a huge gift. Imagine the wind in your sails. Imagine the inspiration, the colors. You start to see the world differently. You carry that vibration with you. That love is legitimate, right? But we need to talk about something. We need to talk about the dreams that we fall in love with, that we attach to, that we bond with. Because in the event that these dreams become non-existent, many people, men and women, both men and women alike, tend to fall apart. And it's valid to be heartbroken and understand whether you're heartbroken from breakup, discard, or what I like to call the emotional execution. Regardless of what it is or what happened, that dream comes to an end. And we need to understand why it is we end up attaching ourselves to that dream so intimately, so fully, committing to those things to the point where you obsess over it in limerence over a long period of time. Sometimes heartbreak takes months, or for some people, God bless if it's the case, years. And you live in the past. And why is that? We keep in mind what the dream is. The things that you want, that dream that you attach to, that romantic dream that you want, never forget that that dream can happen. The thing about that dream, though, is unlike the dream of your purpose that you want to live, you start to embody, let's say, something that you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to write a book. You want to do something. You can embody being an author. You can embody having your own idea and making money out of it, right? And having a prosperous life with financial freedom. Those things you embody and get into that connection with, or in alignment with. Your vibration becomes in alignment with it, and therefore it already is. You step into what already exists. That's your dream that you can become. You can control that through mind control. You control your own mind, your own thought patterns. You embody and embrace being that emotional feeling of already having that which you want, okay? Now, the difference between that and then trying to embody that dream of a romantic relationship is that you cannot control what another person thinks. You cannot control what another person does. The only thing you can control is your mind. And in the moment, and by the way, when you're living in that dream, you're embodying the dream, that means that you've gained self-principles, foundational principles, your values of self-discipline, all right? Self-respect, self-love, and self-dignity, and you embody that dream while building those principles and that mindset up and those values. And then you practice having those values and protecting them with healthy boundaries. But boundaries don't exist in that relationship that you're trying to control, that you're trying to live through that romantic dream. When you don't set those boundaries, those values will dissipate and you will sacrifice the self for that relationship. All right? And this is the problem. We detach from the self. We betray the self and start to attach yourself to the other person instead of allowing that person to come into your frame that you've built over time. Things that attract naturally to you living through your purpose, that spiritual, that state, that mental state of energy, of commonality that you have with your dream, with your purpose, or with that person. You feel a spiritual connection, but it has to be reciprocated. There has to be respect. When you lose yourself in that relationship, you start to lose respect. And this is where you lose control, because a person that doesn't respect you is no longer going to treat you the same. They're no longer going to feel the same. And that constant feeling of not feeling the same is going to lose attraction. And now you can't control what that person does. Now you can't chase this or change the snowball effect of how they're feeling. They're lost in their feelings. And you become lost in their feelings because their feelings become a barometer or a thermometer for how you're feeling, and you orbit around how they're feeling. Now you're chasing something. Now you have to hold on tightly. Now you're out of control. And now you lose. You lose it, and you lose the dream that never was. But that person gave you the gift of inspiration of what you want in your life. And the things that you can control are that dream of your purpose. And that stuff around you, the romance and all of that stuff, will attract to you naturally. And you can maintain your emotional distance and self-integrity by setting healthy boundaries and protecting that which you've built over time. This goes for men especially out there, okay? And if you're an independent woman, by all means, this goes for you as well. But specifically you men out there, this is where we lose our masculinity. You become emasculated in the bedroom. You become emasculated out there in public when you get on social media and you get on these dating apps. You don't even reflect enough to understand what I said. Or you nod your head like you understand what I say, but then you go right on your dating apps. You go and take your testosterone boosters and walk around with an erection. You can't help it. You need validation. When you lose that purpose and the values that come with living through that purpose, the values and integrity and the foundational principles and the virtues that you built over time living through that purpose, you start to lose. You lose it within yourself, and then the person who's no longer respecting you, they're only reflecting back to you what you're thinking and how you're treating yourself. Keep that in mind. Live through your purpose. That's your dream. That's your dream. That's what you can control. You can't control what anybody else is thinking, feeling, or doing.